Is Dak Prescott an elite quarterback? This question is certainly relevant right now, considering that he just recently turned down a contract that would pay him a monstrous $30 million annually. He'd be getting paid more than guys like Matt Stafford, Drew Brees, Andrew Luck, Joe Flacco, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, and, oh yeah, only the best quarterback to ever do it, Tom Brady. But I guess being fifth best wasn't enough, and he wants to be the highest paid player in the NFL at $40 million a year. So does Dak deserve that money? Let's find out. In trying to answer this question, I charted 5 different games with the Cowboys last year, all for different reasons. But the common denominator for all 5 games is that I charted every single third down play. The reason I decided to look at the Cowboys' third downs in particular was because on any given drive, a third down is going to be one of the most important plays. If you can't convert on third down, you're either giving the other team the ball or settling for field goals. The best quarterbacks and the best offenses in the league are typically the ones who can convert the most on third down. With all that being said, I'm going to go down the list and explain why I decided to chart each of these games specifically. Now, at least 2 of the games I charted, I wanted them to be poor performances from the Cowboys, more specifically really poor performances on third down. Those games are Week 5 and Week 15. The big difference between these 2 games, other than the fact that they're 10 weeks apart obviously, is that in the game against the Texans, the Cowboys had not yet acquired Amari Cooper from the Raiders. The reason I wanted to chart the Week 13 game versus the Saints is not only because they did a pretty decent job going 7 for 14 on third down, but more specifically because that was the game where Dak was 24 for 28 on his pass attempts. The case is similar for Week 14 versus the Eagles, where they did a pretty good job going 9 for 18 on third down, but what I really wanted to look at was the impact Amari Cooper had on this game. He caught 10 balls for 217 yards and 3 touchdowns. And lastly, we have the Week 17 game on the road against the Giants, where the Cowboys did an amazing job on third down, going 11 of 17. Dak also showed out this game, throwing an extremely impressive 368 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions, good for a passer rating of 118. In addition to all the third down plays, in the Eagles and Giants games, I also charted a few extra. In the Eagles game, I charted every single target to Amari Cooper, and in the Giants game, I charted all the fourth down attempts. Of all the 92 total plays I charted, in this video I'm going to be showing you 13. 3 from the Texans game, 2 from the Saints, 3 from the Eagles, 2 from the Colts, and 3 from the Giants. Without further ado, let's watch the first play from the Texans game. It's 3rd and 11 and the Cowboys are up by 3. They're within striking distance of the red zone and a possibility to extend their lead to 2 scores. On this play, what I really want to highlight is Dak's accuracy problems earlier in the season. So we start out with a single high safety and not a whole lot of bodies responded to the bunch on the right side, so we're probably looking at a zone cover 3 look. But after the ball is snapped, you can see that the safety actually drops back and it's a cover 2. The route you want to be watching on this play is this hitch route from the tight end, as this is what Prescott is going to be thrown to. The tight end runs the route and is able to find a soft spot underneath the linebackers to where he can make the catch and run upfield, hopefully for a first down. Only problem is Prescott makes a terrible throw, the tight end is forced to dive and he can't get any yards after the catch. You can see better here in this slow motion angle what went wrong with this throw. Prescott tried to muscle it using only his upper body and didn't point his feet towards his target or rotate his hips throughout the throw. Because of Dak's inability to make this throw, the Cowboys squandered a chance to go up by 10, instead only being up by 6. So it's 3rd and 8, and initially before the snap on this play, it looks like the Texans might be bringing pressure from the left edge in a man coverage look. Now based on this look, we know that there's 5 guys that aren't assigned to any particular man and could therefore be potentially blitzing. Now you'll notice numbers 2 through 5 are all shifted towards the weak side of the formation. This is done on purpose to make the offense think that pressure's coming off that side, when in reality, after the snap, numbers 3 and 4 drop back into coverage, and the slot corner on the other side comes down on a blitz. It's after the snap that we also see that the defense wasn't just deceiving which side the pressure was going to come off of, but whether this was a man or a zone look, because after all, it actually ended up being cover 3. Deception is a hallmark of great defenses. The more you mess with the quarterback's pre-snap reads, the more time he has to take post-snap to try and figure out what it is the defense is doing so he knows where to throw the ball. As a result of this, quarterbacks who are able to read the defense quickly post-snap are some of the greatest to ever play the game. Tom Brady, for example, is so good because it doesn't matter what kind of trickery you throw at him after the snap. He can read it so quickly and know where the ball needs to go that it doesn't matter. Alright, now that we've established what the defense is actually doing, let's see how Prescott responds on this play. So because of that pressure coming off the right side, Jadeveon Clowney's got a free shot on Prescott. But Prescott does an amazing job of ducking the pressure, finding his way outside the pocket, and making a decent throw, on the run no less, to an open receiver. Now unfortunately the throw is just a tad low, but in my opinion not uncatchably so I think it's the receiver's fault for not hauling this in. But either way, great job from Prescott to avoid the pressure, keep his eyes downfield, and make a throw to an open receiver. That's the kind of stuff you want to see from an elite quarterback. So it's currently 3rd and 17 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the Cowboys and Texans are tied at 16 each. The Cowboys need to get this first down if they want to have a chance to score on this game-winning drive. This is without a doubt the most important play of the game, and it's on plays like this where guys like Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes consistently differentiate themselves from the rest of the pack by making these plays and getting the first down. So as we're watching the play here, we're going to see the Texans do a pretty good job of getting interior pressure on the pocket, which forces Prescott to roll out to his left. Now what I want to do is stop right about here so we can survey the options Prescott has on this play. The way I see it, Dak's got 2 guys he can go to here. Number 1, he's got his running back Ezekiel Elliott open in the flats, and number 2, he's got his receiver Michael Gallup, who's just starting to come open into a soft spot behind the outside corner. Now let's start with the first of those 2 options, and Ezekiel Elliott. Now, Zeke's got enough speed to beat the pursuing angle of this linebacker here, which means the only defender that really has a chance at making a tackle on him is this outside corner. Which makes us have to ask the question, can Ezekiel Elliott break the tackle of this outside corner? Well, I'd like to answer that question with a quick little clip.
On first down, Elliott cuts back. Inside the 30, inside the 25. His biggest of the night, 21 yards for 21.
Alright, back to the play. Now, based on that last clip we just watched, I think it's become pretty clear that that corner is not going to be able to tackle Elliott. Whether he puts a juke move on him or just straight up runs the f*** over him, he is not going down. God, you wonder why he wants to get paid. Dude is a beast. Alright, back on topic. Now that we're done looking at Ezekiel Elliott, let's look at Prescott's other option on this play, Michael Gallup. Alright, now as Dak is starting to continue to roll out, you can see Gallup start to find a soft spot behind the corner who's not even looking at him. And if you see, he's actually already past the sticks. So all Dak has to do here is look up and throw the ball. And unlike with the Ezekiel Elliott option, he doesn't even have to break a single tackle. He just has to catch the ball and go down. After that, Dak can march his team down the field, set up a game-winning field goal, and be the hero of the game for the Cowboys. Now, I think I've kept you all waiting long enough. Let's see what Dak actually does on this play.
Just to try and give him something to think about.
3rd and 17. Flushed out. Rolls against the grain. Packs it in. And gets spun down at the 45-yard line. So it's 4th down.
Yeah, so Dak kind of f***ed up here. This terrible play forced the Cowboys to punt to the Texans. Luckily for the Cowboys, their defense was able to get a stop and force the game to go to overtime. Unluckily for the Cowboys, they ended up losing in overtime anyway, so it didn't really matter. The moral of the story, and the point I was trying to make by showing this play, is that Dak early in the season needed to get a lot better with his decision-making ability and his awareness. If he had made the throw to either Elliott or Gallup here, they get a first down, and they get a chance to march down the field and win the game. But because Elliott decides to tuck the ball and run himself, he basically loses the game for his team. Good quarterbacks win games for their team. They don't lose them. So it's 3rd and 8, and the Saints are lined up kind of ambiguously here. It's hard to tell exactly what they're doing. It looks like they're bringing some sort of pressure, but it's hard to tell whether it's man or zone and exactly where the pressure's coming from. The important part, though, is that before the snap, Prescott IDs that he's got his receiver, Michael Gallup, one-on-one with a corner outside. Now, the corner is shaded slightly inside to protect himself against any sort of in-breaking route, like a slant or a dig, but it leaves him open to is any sort of out-breaking route, like we see Gallup run on this play. Gallup runs an intermediate out route, and he does a great job on this one. You notice him flatten the route after his break, so as not to allow the corner to undercut the throw. You can really notice it here as you see him running completely parallel to the 50-yard line. If he hadn't flattened his route and continued to drift upfield, resembling something more of a corner route, it would have been pretty easy for the DB to undercut the ball and possibly intercept it. But while the route from Gallup was great, what was even more impressive was Prescott's throw on this play. You'll notice he starts his throwing motion even before Gallup breaks on this route. This shows great timing and chemistry with your receivers to be able to throw with anticipation before they make their breaks. Not only was the timing on this play perfect, but also the placement. Prescott put the ball away from the DB towards the outstretched hands of the receiver in stride toward the sideline. Couldn't have been a better thrown ball. So it's 3rd and 7, and the Saints are running literally the exact same play we saw on the last 3rd down. Only difference is they're running it out of a different front. But the principle is still the same. One of the linebackers on the line of scrimmage drops back and takes the tight end in man coverage, and another one drops back into a robber. Everything else is just standard cover 1. Saints do a really good job of scheming up pressure here. They end up getting to Dak almost immediately, not giving him time to make a throw. Except, he did have time to make a throw. This play was by far and away one of the most frustrating ones I had to watch while charting Dak's film. And here's why. When watching this play for the first time, not knowing what to look at, it just looks like a pretty standard sack where he didn't have time to do anything and the play was doomed from the start. But when you really slow the play down and look and see how everything progresses, a different story starts to pop up. Let's explore that story a little more. We're going to go one by one with each of these routes to see if any of them were open quick enough for Prescott to make a throw. Now we're going to start from the top of the screen and make our way all the way to the bottom one by one, starting at the top with Amari Cooper. Alright, looks like Cooper's going to be running a go route here, trying to beat his man deep, and well, that was quick. Looking at our handy little Dak sack cam in the bottom right corner, it would appear that Dak has indeed been sacked. And no, it did not look like Amari Cooper was open by the time Dak was being hit. Guess that means it's time to move on to the next round. Cole Beasley, come on down! Alright, let's see what kind of route he's running from the slot. Well, that was quick. So far, it seems like Dak is in the clear, as neither of his options that we've gone to so far have been open by the time he got sacked. Time to move on to the next one. Alright, looks like we are now on the tight end, Blake Jarwin. Let's see what he does on this one. He runs right into the linebacker. Well, looks like we're over 3. Dak only has one option left on this play. Number 13, Michael Gallup. Alright, looks like Gallup's going to take a jab step outside, cut back inside. Oh! Absolutely brutal hit on the Dak sack cam. But you know, watching that playback, I couldn't help but notice. It almost looked like Gallup got open there. Like, even before Dak got sacked. I think we need to take another look. Alright, Dak's going to snap the ball here in a second. Let's really pay close attention to Michael Gallup here. Let's pause. Michael Gallup is across the face of the DB covering him. He has already broken on his route, and at the time it happened, Dak was not being sacked. Looks like we found the open receiver we were looking for.
Ooh, that's a bingo!
Alright, back to being serious for a minute. The most frustrating part about this play, though, by far, wasn't just the fact that he didn't throw the ball, but that he was staring down the read the whole time and even pump faked a throw to Gallup, but he didn't actually throw the ball to him. You'll be able to see it here perfectly from the end zone angle. He's looking at Gallup the whole time, pump fakes a throw and gets sacked. If he had thrown the ball right when he was pump faking, it would have been a completion, Gallup would have gotten yacked for a first down, and the drive would have continued. Could you blame the offensive line for not picking up the blitzers properly here? Yeah, absolutely you could. But when $40 million a year is on the line, and the sack is as preventable as it was on this play, I don't see how you could blame anyone but Prescott. So it's 3rd and 4, and the Cowboys are motioning out the running back to try and figure out exactly what the Eagles are doing on this play. No one specifically shadows him out there, but they do end up shifting their formation over, and the guy that ends up being over the top of him is a cornerback. Now, typically in man-to-man coverage, only safeties and linebackers will be the ones to man up on running backs. The fact that no one shadowed him out there and that he's got a cornerback on him means this is a pretty good indicator for zone coverage. More specifically because of the single high safety, cover 3. So now that we know what we're looking at, and hopefully what Dak's looking at, let's see what actually happens on this play. So Dak's going to snap the ball, and the tight end Blake Jarwin is running a crossing route. He manages to get behind the linebacker, catch the ball, and get some yak for a first down. What's odd about this play, though, is how open Blake Jarwin got. As he was running his route, it looked like the linebacker was going to trail him across the formation, but then all of a sudden decided to go back the other way. Let's take a look at it from the end zone angle to see if we can get a better look at what's going on here. Now, what you really want to pay attention to on this play is Dak's eyes. So he's going to snap the ball and immediately shoot his glance to the left, which draws the linebacker in that same direction. Now he's going to glance the other way to draw the linebacker away from Blake Jarwin's crossing route. Because Dak was able to use his eyes to get Blake Jarwin open, it was an easy throw and catch for a first down. Being able to manipulate zone defenders with your eyes like this is an ability that an elite quarterback has to have, so it's good to see Dak has this in his arsenal. So it's 2nd and 5 and the Eagles are playing a cover 1 robber look here. That means that the free safety is playing a deep zone at the back of the defense, while another defender, typically a linebacker or a safety, will play the robber role, which is a hook zone in the middle of the formation. Everyone else is either manned up or blitzing. Now you'll notice the free safety is cheating towards the left hash, which is where the ball is being snapped. That means that pretty much any route on the right side of this play, there's a pretty good chance is going to be one-on-one with whoever they're manned up on. In this case, at the bottom of the screen, you have Amari Cooper manned up against a first-year corner out of Washington named Sidney Jones. Sound like a mismatch? Yeah, that's because it is. Let's see what Dak decides to do with this mismatch here.
Again. 2nd down and 5. Prescott goes to the end zone. Pass is caught. Cooper, touchdown.
There's a few things that really impressed me on this play. Number 1 is Amari's ability to somehow get past his corner and get open. Number 2 is the really good throw by Dak. And number 3 is the innate chemistry that these two seem to have. Let's start with Amari getting open. Now you'll notice that the corner has given Amari about 9 yards of cushion because he does not want to get beat deep. But Amari says, "F*** you, I'm
too big, too strong, too fast, too good,"
and just beats him deep anyway, because he can, because he's better than that corner. But it wasn't just impressive enough that he was able to beat him deep, but that he was able to beat him with good route running. One aspect of a good route runner is to be able to gain separation at the top of the route, and you can see Amari Cooper do this perfectly here, as he starts to stem his route inside right as the ball is coming to try and push the corner that way, just to only cut back outside. While the route on this play was great, what I thought was even more impressive was Prescott's throw. He put it perfectly on Amari Cooper's outside shoulder, away from the defender, where only he could get. To be able to make a throw like that, you have to have pretty good chemistry with your receiver to know where they're going to be and where you need to throw the ball. Brett Coleman made a great video on this subject that you can click on here. The focus of the video was on Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown, and how Ben could just throw the ball to any spot on the field, and Antonio would read the defense the same way he is and get to that spot. You can see that same principle applied here, as Dak throws the ball before Amari even gets parallel with the defender. Dak knows that Amari is going to get to the spot that he knows he has to throw to, because they both read the defense in the same way and have that chemistry together. So it's 1st and 10 early in the 2nd quarter, and the Cowboys have a chance here to get a touchdown and extend their lead to 2 scores. I'm just going to let the play roll here, and we'll break down what happens afterward. So as you can see, Dak gets picked off by corner Rasul Douglas. We're going to go back, watch this play a few times, and break down what happened. So Amari Cooper is going to be running a deep over here, trying to get in between 2 of the deep third defenders and behind the underneath coverage. Rasul Douglas' assignment on this play, presumably at least, is one of those deep third zones under cover 3. But after the snap, it looks like he's basically manned up on the tight end. That is at least until he looks over at Amari Cooper's route and decides he needs to jump it. This is a great decision by Douglas, because if he doesn't jump this route, this is going to be a touchdown every single time. And if Dak decides to throw to the tight end that he vacates, I think he's trusting the linebacker number 53 to go cover him. And even if he didn't, it's a 10-yard gain versus a touchdown. So that was one hell of a play by Rasul Douglas, but was there anything that Dak could have done to prevent this interception? Well, yeah, actually. Let's explore that. The solution of the interception here is actually really simple. 2 words: ball placement. If Dak had put a little more mustard on this ball and thrown it more upfield, this would have been a touchdown, no question, no matter what Rasul Douglas did. So just like some of the previous sack plays, this really is one hell of a play from the defense. Rasul Douglas deserves a pat on the back for this one. But also like some of the previous sack plays, this interception is completely preventable. All Dak has to do is throw a better ball, and this is a touchdown. So it's 3rd and 9, and the Cowboys at this point are down by 20. So they need to get this first down and get points on the board now. Now in this play, there ended up being penalties on both sides, which then offset, which means according to the box score, this play never actually happened. But that doesn't mean we're not going to review it, because what happened on this play is really quite concerning for any Cowboys fans, considering that this man might get paid $40 million a year not too far in the future. What's frustrating on this play is Dak's either lack of awareness or unwillingness to make a throw that's frankly open. Now pay close attention here, because this is where it gets f***ing stupid. Alright, now as you can see, Cole Beasley is about to get open. He's going to drift downfield a little bit, open up his hips, and he should be wide open on this curl route. Alright, let's check in on Dak. Ah, look at that. Looks like he's going to throw the ball. Huh. Well, if he's about to throw it, then what the hell happens here? God f***ing damn it, he did one of his pump fakes again. Let's watch it again from the end zone angle, just to get a great idea of how stupid this is. So Dak's going to snap the ball, and just like the last time he did a pump fake while we were breaking down a play, he is staring down the read he should be throwing to. The worst part about this is if he had once again, just like the last time we broke it down, just thrown the ball when he did the pump fake, he would have had a first down. The most frustrating part of this is, I don't know why he's even pump faking. Just throw the ball. It makes no sense whatsoever, and should be very concerning if you're a Cowboys fan. It's 4th and 1, and it's time to hit rock bottom. This is the worst play I charted while watching Dak's film. The good news is, it gets a lot better from this point on in the video. But the bad news is, you're here with me right now, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna really f***ing hurt. Now you might be asking yourself right now, how could this play possibly be any worse than the 2 previous pump fake plays that I've already broken down so far? Well, the reason that this play is so much worse is because at least on those plays, there was pretty much only one guy open that he could have thrown to. On this play, there is not 1, there is not 2, there is not 3, but there is 4 separate options that Prescott has open on this play at one point or another. And I'm about to go one by one and break all 4 of them down. We're going to start with running back Ezekiel Elliott. Alright, so Zeke's going to be running a flat route here. Let's go ahead and stop. Now, in case it's not obvious, Zeke has his man beat here. There is no possible angle that this linebacker could take to the sideline that will beat Zeke. As long as Dak puts the throw on Zeke's outside shoulder and in stride, this is a guaranteed first down, no questions asked. The most perplexing thing about Dak not throwing to Zeke here is that it was his first read on this play. The first guy that Dak glances at after the snap is Zeke, but he progresses on to his next read, even though Zeke is open. Speaking of which, what were those other reads? Who were those 3 other guys that were open on this play? Let's go ahead and move on to the next guy. Wide receiver, Amari Cooper. Alright, now Cooper's going to be running a short curl route here, and just like Elliott, he's going to be open pretty much immediately. He's able to find a soft spot in the zone coverage, and it would have been an easy first down if Dak had thrown to him. Next up, we've got the receiver, Michael Gallup. Now Gallup's just going to run a short hitch route here, try and find a soft spot, which he does, once again, almost immediately. And Dak, also once again, does not throw the ball to him. Last, but certainly not least, we have the shifty slot receiver, Cole Beasley. Now initially it looks like Beasley's running a dig route here, but he actually powers it down into a hitch. And surprisingly enough, Dak actually does target him on this play. The problem is, and you'll see this better from the end zone angle, he throws it too little, too late. If Dak had thrown the ball right after Beasley crossed the face of Darius Leonard, this would have been a perfect play for a first down. But for whatever reason, he decided to wait until Beasley had completely powered down his route, lost all his momentum, and gave Darius Leonard enough time to recover and break up the pass. So to sum this dumb shit up, for some reason, Dak did not throw to an open Amari, nor Zeke, nor Gallup, and he did actually throw to an open Beasley. He just did so way too late. Whew. Alright, we done with this one now? Thank God. So it's 3rd and 9, the Cowboys are in the red zone here, with a great chance to score and tie up the game going into halftime. The Giants are showing a cover 2 look here pre-snap. You can tell by the 2 high safeties and the fact that there's only 1 quarterback on the left side to match the 2 receivers. One of the big weak spots in cover 2 is the deep middle of the field behind the underneath coverage and in between the 2 deep safeties. The play that the Cowboys are running here is designed to absolutely kill this cover 2. Both of the outside receivers are running go routes to try and grab the attention of the deep safeties. Meanwhile, Blake Jarwin is going to be running a post route right into that weak zone that we identified earlier. Okay, so we've identified that the defense is running a cover 2, the offense is running a cover 2 killer. The only thing we need to find out now is whether or not Dak actually takes advantage of this amazing play call.
This is his opportunity. Here's Beasley.
Prescott stands in, firing end zone. Same play, same result. Touchdown, Jarwin.
So, as we can see here, not only did Dak actually pull the trigger and make a good read, but he actually made a really good throw on this play. So as the play was progressing, it looked like one of the linebackers was actually going to carry Jarwin into the end zone, which was going to be problematic if Dak was going to make a throw. But Dak saw this and adjusted appropriately. He saw the linebacker was drifting outside, so he threw the ball high and inside, so that only Jarwin could go up and get it. Great route, great throw, great play. So it's 3rd and 10, and the Cowboys are currently down by 4 with just under 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter. They need to make sure they get a first down here and try and get a touchdown on this drive. The Giants are showing cover 2 man here, and you can tell by the 2 deep safeties, corners being lined up over the receivers, and linebackers lined up over the running back and the tight end. But after the snap, you can see that it's actually a modified cover 2 man look, where one of the deep safeties is actually manned up on Amari Cooper, and the corner to that side replaces him with the deep half zone. What this does is it ends up creating a natural inside-outside bracket that really limits Cooper's viability as a target on this play. Now this is quite unfortunate for Prescott, as Cooper was the primary read on this play. Now against a normal cover 2 man, Cooper's slant route here would absolutely demolish his coverage, especially considering that Amari is an amazing route runner. So he would have sprung open super quick, caught the ball, and run for a first down. But, like we showed before, this is not your normal cover 2 man. Because of that roll in coverage and the natural bracket created because of it, Cooper is not open on this play. Luckily, Dak sees the roll in coverage and decides to progress on to his next read. If this was the Dak from earlier in the year, he would have tried to force that ball in and it would get stopped short of the sticks or even possibly broken up. Unfortunately for Dak, after he progressed on to his next read, things started to break down a bit. The interior of the pocket collapses and Dak's forced to scramble out to his right. Let's see what happens next.
Substituted late. The officials stepped in to give the Giants a chance to sub if they wanted.
Giants back off the blitz, still pressure. Prescott on the move, looking, throwing deep, and he's got a man, and it is caught! Down inside the 10, it's Allen Hurns!
Holy shit, that was amazing. Watching this play for the first time reminded me of the Messiah himself, Patrick Mahomes, and his ability to scramble and throw on the run. That's how good this play was. Dak shows abilities here that really strengthen the argument that he is, in fact, an elite quarterback. He shows the ability to read a defense pre-snap and adjust properly post-snap. He shows the ability to avoid pressure, and he shows the ability to make tough, off-platform throws. All traits that you want in an elite quarterback. Alright, before we start looking at this play, I feel it's necessary to set the stage. It's 4th and 15, just over a minute left in the game, and the Cowboys are down by a touchdown. If they don't get the first down here, the game is over. With that being said, let's start looking at the play. Now, normally this would be the part of the breakdown where I explain what kind of play the defense is showing, what kind of routes the receivers are running, where the pressure's going to come from, but none of that shit matters right now. And here's why. What happens on this play isn't about what the standard procedure should be, or where the ball should go, or which guy should be open. Because literally right after the snap, pressure comes off the left edge and the play breaks down immediately. There is no time for Dak to survey his options, no time for him to make a throw, no one is open yet. He has to scramble out to his left and make some shit happen. Before we continue, I feel once again I have to reiterate. It is 4th down. They need 15 yards. There is less than 2 minutes left in the game, and they are down by a touchdown. If they do not get this first down, the game is over. This is possibly the biggest play at this point in Dak's career. Now, I don't know about you, but I really want to see what happens here. It's time. Time to see if Dak's going to rise to the occasion and become Dallas' hero, or if he'll stand in the shadow of all the great Dallas quarterbacks before him. Let's roll the tape.
Prescott time to find someone downfield.
Dallas has to get to the 17-yard line to keep the game alive. Prescott, pressure from Vernon, spins away, looking, throwing, going end zone. He's in! Incomplete! An unbelievable catch, but he's out of bounds, and the Giants will win it.
Upper part of him goes down. Is that knee going? Look at that right there. He's down.
That's a catch. That
should be a touchdown, folks. We're going to take a good look at that. That should be 6 for Dallas. But what
After
a catch.
review, the receiver got a knee down and maintained control of the ball. Therefore, we have a touchdown. Please set the game clock to 1 minute and 12 seconds.
Oh yeah, they also went for 2.
Go for 2 to try and win it. If not, the Giants will win. On the fake. Prescott on the roll. Pressure coming. Throws. Caught for the 2. And the Cowboys have the lead. It's Gallup.
It was on those last 2 plays we just watched that Dak Prescott demonstrated the most important ability that an elite quarterback has to have to truly be considered elite. Stuff like arm strength, mobility, vision, football IQ, all very important things. But above all of them, the ability to be clutch. Dak showed here that he has the ability to face any situation head on, no matter how difficult the circumstances, and come out ahead. That's what makes the best of the best. That's what makes Tom Brady Tom Brady. That's what makes Patrick Mahomes Patrick Mahomes. And now, that's what makes Dak Prescott Dak Prescott. Let's circle back to the original question now. Is Dak Prescott an elite quarterback, and does he deserve to get paid $40 million a year? My simple and immediate answer would be no. The title of highest paid quarterback in the league should go to the best quarterback in the league. Putting together all the plays we watched in this video, there was a lot of good, a lot of bad, and a lot of everything in between. To me, what that means is that Dak Prescott is just really inconsistent. He needs to learn to mitigate the bad and accentuate the good. The reason Patrick Mahomes was so amazing last year was because he did a lot of what Dak did in the Giants game, but didn't make a lot of the same boneheaded mistakes that Dak made in some of the other games. With all that being said, I don't think that Dak Prescott is an elite quarterback. But I do think he can be.